Hello there. Hello there. Well, hello there.
General Kenobi.
Welcome to my channel. On today's video, we're going to be filming some car photography and talking about how to do car photography at night and just doing a fun, cool photo shoot with this guy. So tag along.
Tim, that's not a car.
Everybody say hi, Tim. Alrighty guys, we're going to be using this car wash because it's got some nice lights and we're going to be able to get some mist from the sprayer thing. I don't know what those are called. And I think it'll make the car look really cool. Plus these like neon lights look really dope. Kind of making me look a little purple, but I think they'll look really cool in the photos. Okay guys, so if you just saw that, what we were doing is we just basically put some quarters in the car wash and then we sprayed the water back and forth to get that kind of mist look, and it turned out a little bit like this. I think that turned out pretty epic if I say so myself. Hopefully you guys thought so too. Pretty easy technique. You really just need a long exposure. We've got a light on the ground over there, kind of giving the car a side light to kind of highlight the side that's kind of dark from the car wash. And yeah, we're about to do some more, just at a little bit of a different angle, maybe with some leading lines from the car wash kind of angling in towards the car. Alright, we're leaving this car wash. As you can tell, the lens got a little wet. Thank goodness for weather sealing, I hope. So next, I think we're going to go try a Ferris wheel. It's got some lights on it and see how that might look in the background. So I think that's going to be pretty cool. Yeah, but this is a pretty simple shot you can do, you know, at a car wash with just a few bucks. So yeah, just spray some water in the air, shine some lights, and take some exposures. Okay guys, so now we're driving around to go see if we can find a better spot to pull up by the Ferris wheel and get a little bit better shot. Some people.
Thank you, Ferris wheel.
Thank you, Ferris. Bueller. Man, that was a lot of fun. So now I'm going to give you some tips on what I learned from this car photo shoot and some things that you might look out for if you're going to go out and do something similar. Be sure you get your quarters beforehand because sometimes it can be kind of hard to find quarters when you need them. I'm not saying that out of personal experience or anything, but definitely find those quarters beforehand. And you're going to need a lot of them if you're doing photos like this. I think we used probably $3 or $4 worth of quarters to get enough time to get the shots that we needed. You're going to want to try to compose your shot before you start spraying the water in the air, but sometimes you have to move around a little bit, change things up, try out different angles, and so you're going to need a lot of quarters to make sure that you don't run out while you're shooting. Also, if you're using an older camera, I definitely recommend a tripod. Really, any camera you're using, a tripod is going to make your photos just a little bit sharper because you're not going to have any shake from your hands or movement or anything like that. If you're not using a tripod, I recommend maybe try using a camera strap to brace the camera against your arm or your neck so that you have a little bit more of a stable shot, especially when you're doing photos like this at nighttime. And along with that, definitely recommend a remote per the usual. Remotes just keep your hands off the camera again, giving you just a little bit sharper image. If you're using an older camera, you're going to want to keep your ISO down around 100 or the lowest that it can shoot at, just to keep from having digital noise in your photos. I've seen a lot of people online lately kind of wondering why their images look so noisy, and a lot of times it's because they're shooting at really high ISOs and they just don't even realize it. Now, if you're using a newer camera, sometimes you can get away with shooting at those higher ISOs. Like those last shots at the car wash, I actually shot with this camera, the Canon EOS RP, and I shot those at around 1600 or 3200 ISO, and they actually turned out pretty clean. For some reason, on video, they looked noisier than they were, but part of that was actually the water droplets on the car, which gets to my next point. You're definitely gonna wanna do that water shot last. I wish that we had done it last. I didn't realize it beforehand, but there was water all over the car for the rest of the evening. And so I think it's definitely better to do that water shot last, because otherwise you're gonna have droplets on the car. It's gonna give it that kind of texture. It doesn't look as good. If you do wanna do those car wash photos with the water beforehand, just make sure you bring along a towel or an extra t-shirt, or just use your friend's shirt. They might not appreciate that if it's as cold as it was tonight, but it's an option. So we're actually gonna go back and do another car shoot, probably at sunset sometime, to get some more clean traditional shots of his car. Another thing to be aware of is make sure that you take plenty of lights with you. I actually brought along 3 LED lights and ended up using all 3 of them. I just set them up around the car at different angles, kind of trying to light up the car as much as possible. If you don't have any LED lights, you could look for like a street light or a light from a building, something that you can use to kind of cast some light on your car. Another thing that I wish I had done was actually scout the locations. We got lucky and were able to actually find spots to shoot without much trouble, but I think it would be better if we had scouted out the locations beforehand. The car wash was scouted out. Tim actually did a great job scouting that out and finding that for us. The other spots though, we just kind of went to on a whim, and I think they worked out, but it could definitely have been a little bit better if we had planned out our locations a little bit more. All right, last tip. Make sure that you're trying lots of different angles. I had in my mind to do this shot here, and originally this shot was going to be from the rear of the car as the car drove away, but when we tried it, it just didn't look quite as good. Definitely looked better having the car drive towards us. If we hadn't tried switching that shot up, we wouldn't have got the best shot possible. So I think it's important to make sure that you're switching it up. Try lots of different angles, try facing the car towards you, try facing the car away. Yeah, just make sure that you've got a lot of different options to choose from so that you can pick the best shot. I think a lot of the time, one of the biggest differences between a pro and an amateur photographer is knowing which images to share. All right, guys, thanks for coming along on that shoot. I had a lot of fun with that. I hope you had a lot of fun tagging along. And if you enjoy this content, be sure you hit that subscribe button. You can ring the bell if you want to. Be sure to like this video, leave a comment, and let me know what you want to see in the next one. We've got a Lightroom coloring tutorial coming up next week, so be sure to stick around for that. It's going to be a lot of fun. I think I'm actually going to do that in a 2-part series, one talking about Lightroom Mobile because I've been doing a lot of editing on there, and then another one showing off Lightroom, the full version, and talking about how I use it on a computer a little bit differently with a few extra features. If you're into that, definitely hit that subscribe button. I'd love to have you here, and we'll see you next week for another video.
Lucas, you're not getting out of this video either.
No!
What you got there?
I need some support. Clear American Mandarin Orange.
Is it good?
It's delicious.
Is that an endorsement?
Not a sponsor.